Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Mad Capper, and this is another video on Raid Shadow Legends and another in our series of I Built Them So You Don't Have To. Before you say anything in the comments down below, I know Basher is a good champion. I know this isn't my normal forte. I'm taking unknown champions or gems in the rough or just bad champions. I know that that's what I do. But my eventual goal A is to get all epic champions done. And B, I have a standing rule in Twitch, of which I had my birthday stream, a 12-hour stream yesterday on the June 22nd. And we had an amazing time. We had several hype trains, including a level 5, a big-ass hype train. And I had to actually pull a sacred. It was a dupe. So I had to actually go and pull voids until I could get one. And on the very last void, we pulled Basher. So that's why I'm doing this video. But before I continue, two things to ask me. One, please like and subscribe. If you like the video, subscribe. If you like me, put on the notification. It's very helpful to me. I had a little bit, took a little time off. We did a little Diablo. We moved that to another channel. So we're back concentrating on Raid on this channel. And anything to help me push through the algorithm is I absolutely love you for. So I also want to thank all the people that gave me raids, the love and support in this community from all of you who did. I can't tell you everyone who followed, gifted stuff. There's too many, but I love you guys. But I do want to give a shout out to my fellow content creators who trusted me with their people yesterday, and it made it great because we always had a cycle of new people in, and it was so much fun. So first of all, I want to thank Layla Fox Nation. You are my coffee and raid on every day that I'm not doing coffee and raid, so I want to thank you for raiding me. 107 people you brought in. Final Kapachi, thank you. Right afterwards, 31 people. Then Odd One Gaming, longtime friend of mine, my brother from Romania, Party of 79. And then Ivy Lee came in a little bit later with 49. Hell Hades rocking the 566. Now this is a bit of a funny meme. I love Hell Hades. I love his content. I love what he does. I've talked to him before in the background and everything. But it was kind of a meme because of how our time zones on when we actually stream is so different. He's never actually rated me before. And this was beautiful. What a birthday gift, bringing 566 beautiful souls. J-Gigs rating with 62 coming in hard. And then we had the Saffron Man, longtime supporter and friend at 24. And finally, Bront Cat Herder whipping in the 21. So thank all of you for your support in the community. That just shows how amazing this community of Raid still is after 3+ years in this game. Now, let's get on to Basher, because I know that's why you're here. You're not here to have me gush about a fun, exciting stream that I had yesterday. So let's actually, but we fix this. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, but I don't want to start again. Okay, so Basher, how are we going to do him? I want to show him in two different ways. Basher has kind of a split personality. One of the ways he can be used as a nuker in the Skinwalker faction. He actually hits really hard. You can build him out to do some damage. So that's what we have. First, we'll do some damage testing with him, and then we'll take him into the arena where people call him the poor man warlord. So I'm just going to give him Warlord's gear, and we're going to see how well we can make that work in the same kind of way that I currently use Warlord. So we're going to do the two of those. Without further ado, let's get into Basher. Stinging Blast attacks all enemies, increases the cooldown of all of the target's skills by 2 turns. Cause Fear attacks 4 times at random, has a 75% bookable to 100% chance of placing a block buffs debuff for 2 turns. Splintering Bash attacks 1 enemy, has a 75% chance of placing a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns. There you go. Pretty neat toolkit. You can make this guy. He can if you need. I can't believe you'd use it for Bash for this, but he can 7 seconds. He can farm your 12-3 pretty easy. But let's talk about him from the other perspective. First, I'll show you the gear. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take him in here. Like I said, we're gonna test him in 2 different ways. So I'll show you his gear here, then we'll do some damage testing against some other nukers, and then we'll move on from it. I can't test him against Ethos because I stole Ethos's gear to put on him. So I really souped him up here. We have him in Savage and Cruel gear. He's also running an attack banner right now. We're just throwing everything at him. He's got crit damage there. oddly enough, in a Revenge Amulet, so why not? He's got a small chance to counterattack. His total stats here, you've got him at 33, 287, 57, 77 attack, 197 speed, 152 crit damage. We're not worrying about him landing stuff. We're just looking at pure damage. Then I'll move him into the more likely build that you're going to want to use him in. So let's take a look at his masteries. Under this build, again, I will change this. But for the damage testing, we have him in a straight nuke setup here. We do have the extend just to have it. But this is just his pure let me damage stuff build. And let's take him in and we'll test him in building out. We'll test him in damage versus some of the other epic champions that I normally use for nuking. Okay, so here's the team the champions we're gonna show up against Basher. Basher is in one of my best sets, probably one of my top 3, top 4 setups as far as abilities or stats. So again, reminder, here it is. You should have just watched the last piece, so that's your fault if you missed it. Artemage is now these are going to be considerably lower, but you can use your mind to say, okay, so he's about 20. He's going to do about 20% less damage if things are equal. 4308 attack, 221 crit damage. There, Magnar is one of my mainstay nukers, 265 crit damage. He's in Savage, 93, 261. I haven't re-looked at his gear to try to wiggle through even further, but he hits pretty darn hard, so that'll be a good test. And Alika here, she's at 46, 46 at 225. So basically, all things equal, he should be hitting 20% more. Obviously, we're bringing in Venus in for the buffs. I thought I'd bring her in since she's getting a buff, so might as well bring her into the video. So let's take it off auto. Let's go to 1 times. We'll get those debuffs on. And no misses. So first one attacks all enemies, so let's do that with her. You're looking at 38,000. Now we're gonna use I want to use his AoE first. He's got a cooldown thing. It'd be kind of neat if he went first because it puts him on cooldown and then she extended it. But I just didn't do that, so too bad. Okay, and this is an AoE as well. Bam, 6131, and then this here, the final. Boom. Okay, so let's take a look here at what that did. So he did. I think that this makes pretty good sense. Alika hit a little less than Sir Artemage, which I think on that skill it makes sense because their other skill it does hit very hard. But these are all AoEs, and then Basher. He put up respectable numbers. Again, if you need a nuker in Skinwalkers, he can help you. Keep in mind, the increase here is from gear. I would say that he's probably sitting in between these two in actual damage if you just put him in some comparable gear. Magnar and Basher have comparable gear sets. Obviously, it's hard because one's HP and one's attack, but you can see how Magnar is still so much more damage. Basher is not... He's good damage, but he's not that next level crazy damage that Magnar is. Next, we'll go back in again, and we'll test the other. Now, this is going to be a little bit harder to do apples to apples here. One's 4 times at random, and the others are not. But we'll do our best here. So this is one enemy, ignores defense if the max HP is higher. So we'll do it on her. And you can see she's hits for 176. This is going to be 4 times at random, so... is what it is. I didn't get to see the numbers. This is this one here. Attacks one enemy, ignores 30% of the defense, so we'll go over there. And he had 136, so pretty good. And then his is also a single target. We'll have to just know what it is. 137. So very actually comparable to Artemage. Now let's back out. So, see, this is where Basher, even though he's got the best gear, is clearly being undervalued. We know Magnar hit the same as Artemage. She only had 50k health left. So these two are hitting similar. This is where Alika really steps up. If she had the top level gear, this is in the 200s. And Basher, that skill is proven. It's not a strong nuking skill. It's meant for the debuff. So not a very good... A2 there, or sorry, is A3. Not a very good 4 times at random. Really didn't do much for you. And it was spread out among 4 champions, which, if it's not doing a lot of damage, makes it even worse. Now we'll test their A1s. Here we go. Debuff. Oh, Venus. It's so good to have you back. So this has the chance to double hit, and she did. So that's 130,000 roughly. He also puts a weaken, which is nice. 47. We'll bring him over here just in case. 40, about 50. And I think we'll go over there. Boom. 82. So as you can see, I think it's a pretty good idea, a pretty good showcase where Basher's just not a damage dealer. He can. That one skill has damage potential, but consider it a bonus. Don't base your build on him doing damage. As on the flip side, you see Alika is your nuker. That's where she shines. Her A2, her single target abilities shine. The AoE is just bonus. Artemage does okay, and Magnar does okay as well. Magnar is hitting the same as Sir Artemage if they had the same gear. It'll give you an idea. And they're all hitting harder than Basher, who's got arguably the best gear of them all. So now we're going to switch him out. I'm going to take him to the arena, and we're going to show you where Basher can really shine for you in kind of a quote-unquote free-to-play. I know he's a void, but at least he's an epic, not a legendary, and how he can kind of replace Warlord on your team. Alright, so here is our reworked Basher. This is something a little more that I would use. We're just trying to make him as fast as possible. We lose 5 speed off of Warlord based on base speed, plus all the extra bonuses that gives, but it's pretty darn close. Same with accuracy. Warlord starts with 20 accuracy. I also have a little bit better accuracy out of his set down here, so it's not a big difference, but there's a little bit of difference. Total stats we're coming at with 689 accuracy at 312 speed. So pretty good. I think we'll be able to use that quite fine. Something else I want to check, just because I'm curious if that's... No, okay, so I do actually have a 10 out of 10 on Skinwalker, so he is getting the extra accuracy there. I was wondering because I knew that the Orcs were getting the same, so he's getting the 6 speed instead of 10 speed, so that's a 4 speed difference with Warlord. And the accuracy, it's 15 more accuracy there. So he is losing 35 accuracy without any thing on gear. He's losing 35 accuracy and what is it, 9 speed difference just for being an epic. But nonetheless, let's take him into the arena now. Oh, sorry. Before I do that, my apologies. I forgot to show you his changed. So I was kind of second guessing and jumping through some different scenarios with his masteries. The important thing was to get him to Eagle Eye for the extra accuracy. I also want him to have Lord of Steel, and I want him to have Evil Eye. I thought, oh, this would be nice if he has a dead ally, something happens, it just speeds him up a little bit so that he can get back to his abilities. And the Cycle of Revenge, same thing. Now, he is a lot more fragile than Warlord is. What we are going to be doing is we're going to be using his A2, which will increase the cooldown of all the target skills on all allies by 2 turns. And this is just kind of a, if we're still in the fight, maybe this will help us because this is, of course, it's a 3-turn cooldown. We'll see how this goes. I don't know if it uses this by default, so we'll probably have to force that. So let's go into the arena. Let's see what that does. Let's get us a classical. So here's a perfect one. This is something we want them to cool down. So the normal team I'd bring in to counter this is actually probably this team, simply because I see a Candrafon there and I don't want any weak hits. But let's take you out and we'll just manual the whole thing from here. Can we just do a filter recently used? Bueller. Okay, so there we go. We'll stop it off auto. And we'll see how this goes. So yeah, we get to go first. We're gonna bing and then boom, increase cooldowns, sleep them. Usually doing that, and then nuke them. Boom, boom. Well, we have of course we do, and then we can just finish him off here. So obviously he's not hitting very hard, but hard enough. So same thing. It's from this perspective, pretty similar result as to what you're looking at. Otherwise, that's an unfair team. I don't even want to. That's not nice of me. Let's go again. And honestly, for what it is, now Warlord does a whole lot more, especially when you're fighting higher end enemies. But I like the fact that he's not doing a lot of damage, so we're not getting those counterattacks coming back, which is a good thing. I don't want to wake up there and accidentally do that. I should have switched. I didn't realize what I was doing here, but we got lucky on that one. So again, pretty easy setup. It's more of an insurance policy. I mean, we can go up here against a warlord, and as long as we're going first, we're going to be okay. And he's going to knock those cooldowns. Knocking those cooldowns, that's all the thing in the world, because even if they get a turn at this point, we're safe. And that's the whole point of this exercise. Now, I'm killing them all, so it's hard to show that. But the reality is, it's the same thing I do with my warlord. I run those, and so long as we kill them. Now, here's something here. This might be a good example. And it might even show kind of the drawback of him, because we've got some beefy characters here. We're gonna knock their cooldowns just like before. We're gonna sleep them. We're gonna not let you go, and then we're gonna nuke. Good. So here's the deal: they get to go, but he's locked them out. So do your worst, my friends. Do your worst. And then this is the part that so the advantage of Warlord is that he's gonna put on a shield with his second turn and a 1-turn block debuff. So this freeze wouldn't have happened, for example. But the advantage here is, even though he's locked out, if she gets a turn, if something happens, if they use a reset champion like a Kymar that stays alive, whatever the scenario may be, I'm not really worried about it, because there's nothing they can do. They can't put up buffs here. So if they get a turn here, it's a nice little added bonus. Not the same, obviously, except for he just cleansed them. So that's of course it is cardial. That's kind of annoys me, but so this is the kind of fight that you normally get here. We can lock them out again for 2 turns. Now keep in mind, it's just 2 turns. That's one of the things that you have to keep in mind over other champions, is it's only a 2-turn, or sorry, over Warlord. Warlords is more than 2 turns. It fully resets their cooldowns. Oh, this is gonna be such a pain in the ass fight. I'm glad I picked this fight, by the way. No, I'm not. Yeah, get him. See, we made him so weak. If you can make him do damage, I think that might be the better option. See, the two turn cooldown. This is actually really good. It does show one of the major drawbacks here, is that because it's a 2-turn cooldown, it doesn't always work the same way. With Warlord, I actually cycle through all of these. Like, I'll cycle through them and get back to Warlord before their cooldowns expire, unless they have like a Raglan with a 2-turn cooldown on her stuff, because he does full cooldowns. Still, the result is a win. I think without Basher, the result there is a loss, because suddenly I can't lock everyone out even for a minute, and then their guys get to revive, put up the veil, all that stuff that is a problem. So Basher can work even against these tough teams. It's not as complete as it is with Warlord. That's why they call them a budget Warlord. But if you look at it, if you just look at his kit again, we'll look at Warlord's kit. We already looked at his. The big deal here is this has it puts their skills on cooldown completely. So that's the difference, is the 2-turn versus the completely. For most teams, that's not going to be a problem. But even the team like you saw that had that survivability because of Necrit, we were still able to push through, because they never really were able to get ahead of us. Even though they were able to defensively put up as a go second team, they weren't able to really go on the offense and kill us out, because 2 turns they were just A1ing, and then they were using their defensive skills. So that's, long story short, that's how you would use Warlord. Let's go to final thoughts. My final thoughts: Basher, there's no surprise that he's a really well-kept secret that is no longer much of a secret. People have done videos on him for years. This is a completionist video for me, if nothing else. But it just goes to show you how you can use them and how to properly use them depending on your needs. If you have a Warlord, or if you're fine in Arena without that cooldown mechanism, then use Basher with a little bit more damage. Get him over to Skinwalkers. But this is probably the best way to use him, is focus everything around that stinging blast with that A2 that can increase the cooldown of all target skills. This is also a very nice skill and a 4-turn cooldown when booked. It's 4 times at random, which is unfortunate, but if you get lucky, like I did in that one arena, if it wasn't Cardial, it would have gone a lot quicker. It's just that happens that Cardial's got that ally cleanse piece. But overall, great champion. I think this is one of the better epic champions in the game. What I find is there's a small subset of support champions in the epics that do well, and there's a lot of supposed support champions that are so niche that you can't really use them. This is not the case with Basher. I think he has multiple uses. I think he has a best case use. But even if you already have a Warlord, or you just don't care about locking out like that, which you probably should, Basher is going to help you get through content because he does have enough damage to help you through Skinwalkers. That is how I normally have him built. A little beefier and tankier than I had him in this sample, but I do put him in Cruel Gear. I do get him around 40k health, so he's a little bit survivable, but that AoE really helps me get through the waves on 21. So great overall champion. I hope that this kind of showed and showcased what he can do for you in the arena. If you don't have a Warlord, here's your guy. Use them, take care of them, win fights, high five your friends, go out for drinks, and most importantly, after you subscribe, be kind, be safe. We'll see you in the next video.